Hola guys and welcome to Capturca Prod, when polygons meet desire. My name's Leon and today I'm gonna show you how to recreate rain effect which was ripped from the game by Ninja Reaper. At this time we will not animate it, cause perhaps I'll show you this in the next time. We just set up the material, because ripped material which was generated by Ninja Reaper by default will not suit in this case, and I'll explain why. So grab some coffee, whiskey or both and let's go. So, unlike flipbook textures for splashes and steam that we talked about in the previous video, rain is extracted from the game in a slightly weird way. And just to be clear, I wasn't standing next to the Alan Wake 2 game developers holding a candle, so I don't know how they made this effect in the Northlight engine, but I think that it's driven by some kind of particle system with a randomized noise shader. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because Ninja Reaper works very literally. It captures the scene exactly as it is at that moment. And in the case of rain, what we get is a single baked object made of hundreds of flat plane meshes. Along with it comes a noise texture. And this is a very important moment. Unlike flipbook textures, this noise texture is not really a texture in usual sense. It's basically a baked snapshot of a shader. In the game it looks different, which is totally expected because the engine applies its own internal magic. But we are in Blender now, so no magic for free. We will have to rebuild this material by hand. So let's make this rain from scratch. First, we create a new material. In the principled BSDF settings, we lower roughness to around 0.1, 0.2 and set specular to 0. Yeah, I know, touching specular in the PBR material is usually a crime, but in this case we're dealing with flat planes, not real volumes of water, and sharp dielectric reflections would only make the effect look fake, especially if we go in to render this in Eevee. And yeah, I really hoping we'll keep everything in Eevee. Next we add a texture coordinate node and connect the UV output to a mapping node. In the mapping node we only care about the scale values on the X and Y axis, but let's leave them alone for now and come back later. Then we create two noise textures with different scale values. These help us to make pattern more complex. We combine these two noises using a mix node set to add. I'll make the factor a bit lower to lower the contrast. Then we pass the result through a color ramp and add some mid-gray values. This gives us a more natural, less procedural looking pattern. Then you can add one more mix node and tint the rain slightly. The color is totally up to taste. After that we connect everything to base color and alpha, enable alpha blend, and boom! The rain starts to make sense. Now let's go back to the mapping node. At this point everything depends on what kind of rain you want to achieve. Lower values on x-axis gives you long heavy rain streaks, when higher values result in finer, more dispersed droplets. Personally, I prefer something in between, usually around 0.9 to 1.2. The y-axis controls the visual spacing between the drops. For these, values of 8 and higher works best. In my case, I'm going with 8.5 and we've got a nicely stretched noise pattern. And that's it for a basic setup. This is already more than enough for static shots and stills. I should notice that right now all these planes are using exactly the same texture pattern. To be honest, visually you probably won't even notice it in dynamics, because by design these rain streaks are supposed to fall really fast. Sure, in theory we could animate the pattern by offsetting the texture coordinates along one of the axes or make moving the entire planes. But we come back to these topics in the next video. Hope these tips and tricks will be helpful for your rip scenes. Thanks for watching, take care, ciao.